Ever since I was a little kid, like most true geography nerds, I've always had this little and very ambitious dream of visiting North Korea. One of the most mysterious countries in the world, with mysterious laws and very mysterious leaders, with a society that we in the West consider to be one of the strangest societies out there, but that in reality we know very little about. This is also a country that is very difficult to get into, if not impossible. In the past, North Korea was open to visitors from all over the world, but only on organized tours with 2 North Korean guides keeping a close eye on you at all times. Now, impabid travelers who want to experience North Korea firsthand don't even have this option anymore, as North Korea is not accepting international tourists anymore, and organized tours are only available for selected Russian passport holders coming from Vladivostok. While that meant that I would have had to put off my dream of setting foot in North Korea for the moment, I decided that I would at least try to set my eyes on North Korea. I was desperate to find ways to get somewhat close to the country, and I figured out that the best way to do that was to head to China, one of the 3 countries, along with Russia and South Korea, that border the DPRK. And I decided to embark on a fascinating train journey across China all the way to Dandong, the last Chinese city before the North Korean border, in hope of finally being able to fulfill my dream of looking out towards the Hermit Kingdom. We're now aboard one of the extremely notorious high-speed Chinese trains. We're now traveling towards the direction of the city of... What's the name of the first city that we're stopping at?
Changchun.
We're now going to Changchun. Now, Changchun is still very far from the North Korean border. We're talking about 200 to 300 kilometers from the very first North Korean populated center. But what we're doing in Changchun is just stopping for a couple of hours before getting on the real train that will take us to the real North Korean border. Our final destination for today is going to be the very small city of Dandong, population 3 million people, with the peculiarity of being situated right across the border, right across the river that marks the border with North Korea. China is not an easy country to traverse, and I wanted to make sure that my chances of succeeding in laying my eyes on North Korea were as high as they needed to be. That's why I asked my good friend Alex, a Chinese-speaking Englishman, of which you don't see many these days, to come with me on my jolly rail ride across the country. Our plan was to travel through the relatively unknown city of Changchun and doing a self-connection there before embarking on the final direct leg of the journey to Dandong and the North Korean border. My most sincere greetings from one of the many Chinese big cities that we've never really heard of in the West, but then you come here to China and you find out that places like Changchun has got something like 250 million people. We've got roughly a couple of hours here in Changchun to kill. Obviously our enthusiasm in reaching this place is quite high, but it's not as high as it will be when we will get to our final destination for today, which goes by the name of Dandong, right on the border with North freaking Korea. Man, what's the plan?
Let's get a coffee and let's get some little snacks.
Right, should we get out then? Man's got a latte, so man is now waking up. Wow, it's a busy street. Not really, considering that this town, as I was saying, Changchun has a population of 475 billion people. You can see that this is your typical big Chinese metropolis where everything is so spread out, right? You've got those high rises over there, you've got high rises over there in the distance, and this is where the huge population of Changchun lives, basically. And we're now back in front of the railway station of Changchun, where we've got to pay attention to the pitch. Whatever that means. I mean, Chinese people are always quite creative when it comes to automatic translation into English, right? Let's go inside and let's buy a ticket to Dan and let's buy a ticket to Dong as well. Let's go to Dan freaking Dong.
珲春去丹东。
对对，我们在长春换。
Man, without my man Alex, I would be absolutely, without a doubt, undoubtedly lost. Thanks to him, we can come here to the ticket counter of the Changchun railway station, which, by the way, for a city of 5 million people is quite empty. We've got very few people buying railway tickets to destinations outside of Changchun. But we are here because we do need our train ticket for one of the most fascinating places and border towns on earth, Dan freaking Dong. Beautiful Italian passport. Are you envious of my Italian passport?
I like the red. I like the little star in it. It's very aesthetic.
It does look like a post-Soviet passport actually because of the star.
Mine just looks worn away.
That's the thing with British passports though. I've seen so many British passports that just after a couple of years of usage, like this happens. It's crazy. Oh, there goes my ticket. And this is our gate to Dandong. You can see this is gate 8 or 9, I'm not sure, probably 9 because it does say 9 over there. And you can see that's the number of our train, and then you see the destination, you see 2 characters, 2 Chinese characters, and you've got the first one which is likely to be Dan, and you've got the second one which is likely to be Dong. You put it all together and we are indeed going to Dandong. And after kilometers and kilometers of traveling across China, this is the final train that we will have to get on our adventure to North Korea, to the North Korean border. We're just looking for our seats. Is this our wagon?
This is the next one.
Oh, okay. We actually got on in the wrong carriage.
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I forgive you.
Thank you.
All that matters is that we make it to the final destination, which is going to be Dandong, obviously. Do we have a window seat at least?
We have a window seat.
Looks like we do. Who's got the window seat?
You be my guest.
We can always swap.
Alternate,
Oh, man, look at the leg room. This is like finding the emergency exit seat on Ryanair, isn't it? Wow. We're gonna be approaching the North Korean border in style. There are 3 main railway lines that connect North Korea with the rest of the world. You've got one from Russia, from the very northern tip of the country of North Korea. Then you've got a second one south of the town, of the Chinese town of Changchun. And then at the very south of the country of North Korea, not far from the 38th parallel, you do have a railway bridge that goes from Dandong into Pyongyang, meaning that this railway line, this very railway line that we're traveling on now, is the one that was being used up until the pandemic to take tourists and to take workers and to take diplomats from China into North Korea and back. Now, after the pandemic, railway links have not been resumed yet, so when we will get to Dandong, hopefully we will be able to see the actual railway bridge that connects Dandong with the North Korean city of Sinuiju. But we're not expecting to see any moving train running between the two, just because the last train that did go from China to North Korea and vice versa did so over 40 years ago. It was essentially one of the 2 options that all tourists had when they wanted to get into North Korea with a group tour, so they could either fly into Pyongyang with the legendary Air Koryo, the national airline of North Korea, or they could go via land from Beijing, crossing the border into North Korea at Dandong proper. The sky, by the way, is actually getting cloudier as we are traveling further and further south. I am expecting the temperature in Dandong to be slightly warmer than what it was back when we started this video from up north, just because obviously Dandong, we are going further south. Quite unexpectedly, our train ride was as uneventful as it could be, in stark contrast with what we were likely to find once in the border city of Dandong. We easily sped across the northeast of China towards North Korea, with emotions and excitement both running high at the thought of finding myself in the middle of lands that I had been reading about for so long. A according to my calculations, this one should be the very last stop of this train before we get into Dandong. It's interesting that the weather has changed once again. Now, go figure, it's freaking raining. Wow. Looks like even the sky, as we are now leaving once again, looks like even the sky is very moved and is crying out of happiness, and he thought that for the first time in our young life we were ever so close to North Korea. On the final stretch of the 3-hour train ride to Dandong, we must have crossed something like 5 different microclimates. The rain turned into snow and then the sun came out again, just in time for us to set foot in our final destination, Dandong. Well, thank you to this very nice high-speed Chinese train who took us all the way to Dandong. We freaking made it. Let me actually show you the GPS once again, because now look at where we are. You can see the demarcation of the border, and oh my god, we're actually already closer than what I thought. We're literally less than a mile away from North Korea. Jesus, I guess what we'll have to do now is try and see if we can get a hotel for the night, because apparently, according to the internet, you're actually supposed to be able to watch North Korean TV from the hotel rooms of Dandong. How crazy would that be? And then we'll try and go even closer to the border, which might not be the easiest mission ever, just because I read that you gotta be quite sneaky. There is a lot of police around who might not necessarily like it for foreigners to go around taking pictures of North Korea. So let's go to the hotel first, and then let's see what we can take out of these few hours in Dandong. Thank you, Dandong railway station, for providing us with the very first... Bro, there's the police. Let's go this way. I want to avoid the police at all costs until we make it to the border with North Korea. Thanks ever so much, Dandong railway station, for giving us a first taste of a Chinese town on the border with North Korea looks like. But now let's get to this hotel. Oh my god, why does it have to be so windy every single time that I leave on one of the missions that I've been waiting to sort of live for years and years? It always has to be the windiest day in the history of windy days. I don't like that. Oh, there's a Hilton hotel over there. I mean, we might as well splurge some money for today. What do you guys
deserve
think?
it.
We definitely deserve it. We definitely don't want to stay at a hotel that is going to rat us out to the police. Can you drink in public in China?
Yes, you can.
Really?
Yes, you
in
can.
such a sensitive area?
I don't know about that, but let's just say there's a few times in Beijing I've had a few.
I mean, if we're here, we definitely do drink too.
We do.
Definitely do.
When in Rome.
Yeah, when in Rome, drink Roman beer.
Drink North Korea.
Yeah, when on the North Korean border. Yeah. That's freaking beer, North Korean beer, imported.
Made in North Korea.
Does it actually come from Pyongyang? Let's go to the hotel. Hopefully we'll be able to check in.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get a nice room with a nice view over North Korea.
Oh.
Hopefully we'll be able to watch North Korean TV channels.
Watch some Korean news, yes.
And we're gonna do all of that by celebrating with some North Korean beer.
North Korean beer.
Man,
We've
what a
earned it.
plan! What a plan! I'm happy. This is an amazing sunset over the beautiful city of Dandong. But the sun is not currently setting only on the Chinese city of Dandong, but the sun is setting on the North Korean city of Sinuiju, just on the opposite side of the river. We've freaking made it! Oh my god, I'm so happy! Oh my god, I cannot freaking believe it. Look at that. It's actually big city. You said that that's the sixth largest city?
Sixth largest
in the whole of North Korea, right on the opposite side of the river, which goes by the name of Yalu River. Isn't that amazing? Oh my god. You can see that at its narrowest, China and North Korea are separated at this point only by, I don't know, maybe 500, 600 meters. You can see the two railway bridges connecting the two countries. You can see the railway line that we were traveling on up until a couple of hours ago, but obviously we stopped right at the railway station of Dandong, that we can actually see over there, by the way. But then, in other times, maybe it would have been possible to actually continue and go all the way by train across that river, all the way to Pyongyang. And you know what? We've got ourselves some very nice North Korean beer directly from Pyongyang. So I say that we celebrate. We do have a lot to celebrate today. We will try and make it even closer to the river, but I mean, It's going to be quite sensitive, so we're gonna try. We are going to get told off by the police, surely, but we're gonna give it a try. But for the moment, I just wanted to take a moment to celebrate from the safety of our hotel rooms. North Korea, salud! Wow. Trying to see if I can see any movement, doesn't look like it.
Some North Koreans going about their day.
That might be the partial Ferris wheel that I read about. Actually, you've got two railway bridges. Mm-hmm. One of them only goes halfway through. It must be the one that was bombed by the Americans in the Korean War. Yeah. I mean, we're actually thinking that we might want to go down the river, but we just don't know whether it's possible. We know how sensitive that it is.
Yeah. Because, you know, we hear on the news like the oppressive regime, Kim Jong-un, human rights, but there's just apartment blocks. It looks like normal. There's like a little Asian kind of temple thing at the very bottom of the river with a blue roof. It's kind of surreal to think like we're just looking at a place that we hear so much about, you know, the Hermit Kingdom, and it's just apartment blocks.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, I wouldn't make any assumption, any socio-economical assumption about life in North Korea. These views from the view of our hotel room across the river. But I mean, yeah, you're right. That's the same impression that I have. It just looks the same as China. It doesn't even look that rural. The same. This is how I'm gonna spend the evening. Just zooming into North Korea. I don't see any sign of life, and I feel like I should be able to. We have just got out of the hotel and the sun has already set. So it'll be very interesting to see when we get to the river walk if we're going to see that maybe the Chinese side is way more lit than the North Korean one. I'm not quite sure. We were planning to spend a couple of days in Dandong, and we knew how sensitive the area around the border was, so in our minds we did not want to go all in on the first day. There were reports on the internet of foreigners getting questioned by Chinese police for just simply standing too close to North Korea, as well as a report of a Canadian citizen opening a cafe on the Dandong riverfront directly facing North Korea, who had then been arrested by the Chinese secret services for alleged spying. So we did go for a night walk around the river, but we didn't feel much. We just looked at the massive Yalu River. We looked at the massive bridge spanning across the Yalu River connecting China with North Korea. But we knew that we were to take a very nice night of sleep before coming back here the very next day. I mean, the bridge is very well lit though. I guess it's maintained by the Chinese. Finding words to describe how I was feeling at this moment is incredibly difficult. I was ecstatic. I was as close to North Korea as I could have ever dreamed of, bringing with me the dreams of so many geography nerds just like me. But I wasn't allowed to scream off the top of my lungs, because otherwise my adventure on the North Korea-China border ran the risk of ending prematurely. I needed to wait for the next day, meaning the next video, to be able to take in the DPRK in its entirety. I don't want to scream off the top of my lungs as I usually do, just because this is a very sketchy area. I don't see police anymore as I did a couple of hours ago, but I'm still very conscious of the risks associated with taking out a camera at these longitudes right here. Look at that, that's North Korea. You probably can't even see it just because of the light situation. The contrast, I have to say, is absolutely appalling. You've got this side of the border, look at the light, oh my god, there's just so much light. And then you've got the bridge, which is also very well lit. I imagine it's maintained by China. And then on the other side, it's almost pure darkness. Look, again signaling the massive differences between the two countries. Look at that, man. Thanks ever so much. Now, I can't say it too loud because I'm still very conscious of police coming after us, but I can't thank you enough. If it wasn't for you, if it hadn't been for you, there's no way in hell that I would have been able to fulfill this lifelong dream of mine. So thanks, man.
We ran into each other suddenly in Heiche, and I'm very thankful for it. So
from the bottom of my heart, thanks, man.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it.
The pleasure's all mine.
Oh my god, guys, thanks ever so much. I'm not quite sure how much I'll be able to sleep tonight just because of the excitement, but thanks ever so much for joining me on this traverse of the northeastern lines of China all the way to the North Korean border.